Will scoliosis make you shake at night when sleeping? There are different conditions that can affect people and make them shake or have mild tremors. And most common things can be things like changes in temperature, being cold. There could be emotion, stress, anxiety, fatigue, neurological issues, and also a variety of other health issues can be contributed towards tremors or shaking with patients. And when we look at scoliosis, and specifically is how can this make shaking, shivering, or tremors, how can that actually occur? Shaking, shivering, and tremors is not considered to be a common condition effect, but no two cases are the same. And there's definitely could be a correlation between developing a scoliosis and having some of these symptoms. When one patient has something doesn't always mean the other person that has the same condition will possibly have it, because two patients with roughly the same size scoliosis could experience their scoliosis symptoms very, very differently. There are many different types of scoliosis and many different severity levels of scoliosis, and every case is very unique. Scoliosis is a spinal condition, and as the spine protects the brain and the central nerve system, a scoliosis can cause nerve compression, and these nerve compressions can be associated with tremors or shaking or even types of muscle spasms. And when we look at nerve compressions are when nerves are being compressed, typically by the spinal bone, spinal tissues, or discs. And this is normally happening because scoliosis induces a lot of uneven forces to the body, and this uneven forces causes uneven compressive pressure to these nerves that exit the body. This typically occurs past adolescence in the adult stage when scoliosis becomes more compressive as a result of gravity over time. And this compression of the spine can affect the muscles and nerves, like I mentioned. And the main thing it tends to lead to is condition-related pain and discomfort. But once you start affecting the nerves, you can start affecting other things and leading to other symptoms like tingling sensation, numbness, and possibly tremors could develop. And when we look at tremors, these are movements that affect the body and are out of a person's control. These are involuntary muscle contractions that can affect the hands, the arms, the head, the trunk, legs, feet, and even facial muscles. Tremors can be very mild or they can be very, very severe. And they can affect one side of the body or they can be symmetrically on both sides of the body. They can appear suddenly and disappear, or they can be part of a long, ongoing issue, which can be more chronic and more common. Tremors are generally more commonly noticeable during waking hours than actually sleeping hours. And normally when we look at tremors, they can notice them. A lot of times if they happen while patients are sleeping, if they're very mild, sometimes the patients may not even be aware of it. And when we know it's scoliosis, there's four main types of scoliosis. Something called idiopathic scoliosis, neuromuscular scoliosis, degenerative scoliosis, and the last one being congenital scoliosis. The type of scoliosis is determined by what's causing the scoliosis, and neuromuscular scoliosis is caused by a presence of a larger neuromuscular condition like spina bifida, cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy. Neuromuscular scoliosis is the most closely associated with tremors, shaking, because it involves a neuromuscular condition that's making the cases particularly more complex and more commonly more severe. These are more difficult typically to treat because normally you're dealing with not only the scoliosis, but you're also dealing with the neuromuscular condition that the patient has. Scoliosis can also cause a complete muscular imbalance as a result of the curvature occurring, because when the curves become more significant in size, they start affecting the shape and the size of the muscles, and the shape and the size and strength of these muscles can be altered by the scoliosis, which can lead to muscle spasms and contractures. And we know that the more severe the scoliosis is, the more noticeable these effects tend to be. Scoliosis is also associated with sleep problems in general. We know as the condition becomes more severe, the factors that influence the symptoms is directly increasing as well. So as scoliosis becomes more severe, the symptoms that it causes become more severe. And one of the main effects that happens with scoliosis is postural changes, effects to movement, imbalance, and pain. We know pain can affect patients' ability to sleep comfortably and get good night's rest. And we also know sometimes treating a scoliosis effectively, like with scoliosis braces, could potentially affect people's ability to sleep properly. Being diagnosed with scoliosis means that you're being diagnosed with a progressive condition, and this can affect the person's mental health, which is also capable of disrupting sleep. Scoliosis, shivering, and shaking during sleep is not considered to be a common effect in a typical scoliosis, but it can be potentially an effect in a severe or an atypical case, such as a neuromuscular scoliosis. So the best way to minimize the effects of scoliosis is proactive treatment. all types of scoliosis, whether it's idiopathic, congenital, neuromuscular, or degenerative, are effectively treated if they're treated early during the progressive stages. And they're normally if they're treated proactively using a combination of treatment. Conservative treatment is capable of impacting scoliosis on all levels, improving its effect, including any type of sleep-related issues that the scoliosis could be affecting. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this information helpful. If you have any questions about this topic or other scoliosis questions, type in the comments below and let us know. And finally, subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified of when we publish new videos just like this.